Alright, doing a little experiment here. Let's see about how long I can actually do a video on this old tablet I got here. I have to see if I can do it this way instead of going live and just save the video and then upload it. Some of the things I like to do, I don't make a bunch of big fancy stuff. A lot of stuff I don't really have the skills to make. But me and my youngins, I like to take these youngins, these grandkids, down the pond. That's where a lot of my bait comes from, fishing with the kids. We're planning an outing. We'll go down there and we'll spend a couple hours at the pond catching little old bluegill. I think about them, all them different little floats. You know, you can't, the kids to play with them, they'll get broke and everything else, and they get a little expensive to keep buying them. So I decided to start making little peg floats. I got online and I ordered me some corks. Is that right? Wine corks. Boy, that bag come in and opened up and it smelled so good you wouldn't believe it. Went to the local lumber yard and I got me some dowel rods, 3/16 dowel rod. And I've got a little roll of wire. It's probably about the equivalent of, I forgot what it was actually called. It's about the equivalent of that floral wire that they use to tie flowers with, maybe just a little bit thicker. But I figured out a way to put everything together and I'm making some of these nifty little peg floats. Ain't much to them. It was a little more tedious than I thought. It's more into drilling holes. It takes a little practice drilling them holes and getting them straight through them corks than what it looks like it would be. But you can see that one. I can turn it and you'll see kind of wobble. I didn't get it perfectly straight, but them fish don't care. I stuck the end of it in a pencil trimmer, you know, just for the looks. Then I got down in my shop, digging around, I found me a drill bit. Just small, little old tiny thing. You know, you can see there or not. Ooh, that's blurry. If you've ever tried to drill a straight hole about 1.5 inches down inside of a piece of 3/16 dowel rod using a DeWalt hand drill, no drill press, just a DeWalt hand drill holding everything by hand, that's pretty tedious. Well, I took another drill bit that I figured was about the right size for the hole there on that loop on the top of there. And I just used that, wrapped that wire twice around it, and had it left me about 1 inch or so that would go down inside that hole there. Filled that hole with some Gorilla Glue and stuck that wire in there and held it in place and hoped my fingers didn't get stuck in there with it. I actually tell off on myself, I did a couple times. Pretty funny. My daughter come in there and said, "Daddy, what you doing?" I said, "I'm doing this," and I had one finger holding a peg float up with my finger was stuck to it. It's just a little perk. It's a little something to useful, but it kind of adds to the fun because it's not just like them little red and white round bobbers. You know, you'll see a fish that hit them things, just does that. Well, with these, you can watch them little bluegill hit, and sometimes they'll just wiggle a little. Well, a lot of times them little round ones, you don't even see the wiggle with a nibble at it. But they'll get a hold of it sometimes, and they'll stand about halfway up, and they'll pull it along. Then all at once, it'll just stand straight up. Sometimes it'll go under. But usually time they get about halfway up, and they start, them boy, them kids are getting excited because that thing's standing up. And it's standing up and moving. You can pull that old bluegill right in there and throw it in the bait bucket. Springtime, I've been using the cut bluegill. And I like to get them that's roughly about as long as my hand, maybe a little bit longer. I don't want no great old big ones. I don't want them big enough to cook. But I want them big enough that if I decide to put a whole one on the hook, I could. Here lately, this spring, I've been using the Santee Cooper rig, I don't think I've got none right here beside me to show. And the Carolina rig, y'all hang on just a second. This is one of my little Walmart poles. I don't use it for none of the big ones. It's an 808, but I'll use it like in a smaller areas, ponds, little small lakes or whatever. 2 ounce no roll. Look, that thing's right in the way, flopping around the way in it. 2 ounce no roll going down to a little glass bead to my swivel. And right there is where that glass bead comes in hand. That thing was actually kind of stuck on that knot. If that had been that lead stuck down on that knot, that could be doing some damage to it. I got maybe 16 inches of leader line. Let's see, I believe this is all 30 pound. No. That may be a 20 pound main line, but that's 30 pound leader. That's about all I had with me. To a 8/0 double action hook. Neighboring county doing tone tests for the fire department. I'll use it in the springtime. Usually cut the head off the bluegill. Use the head primarily, and then turn it. Of course, I'll use it, cut the tails off, trash the tails. I'll clip that back fin off a lot of times where I don't have to worry about that getting in the way of a bite, and or in the way of a hook set. And then use the bodies on another. I like using the 8/0 and the 10/0. I love using them Team Catfish double action. I've had more luck on them than anything. That's just Carolina rig there. I think my Santee Cooper rigs are all the way out yonder on the boat. I might walk out there around it here in a minute. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot of fancy equipment. A lot of my stuff I use is homemade. A lot of my stuff on my boat's homemade. A lot of my poles, a lot of my rods, and I do have some reels that when I was able to a couple years ago, I bought some nicer reels off the internet. I've got a couple of Abu Garcias out there. And I got somebody pulling up. I tell you what, I'll have to continue this on another setting. As the company pull up, I want to talk to them for a little bit. All right, this is Tommy with NT Catfishing signing out. Talk to you later.